arrays in C# come in many different dimensions. So far we've been dealing with one-dimensional arrays. Int, square brackets, my nums is equal to curly brace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. This is a one-dimensional array, which means that when you need to access it, my nums, square bracket, 0 for instance. This will be this element in there. So this is a single dimension. C# does support multi-dimensional arrays. There are two different types of multi-dimensional arrays. There's rectangular and jagged arrays. So let's go ahead and talk about the rectangular multi-dimensional arrays really quick. So to declare it, you do the same thing. You say int, only instead of just leaving that empty, you put a comma there. That tells it, hey, we are now a rectangular array. And then I'll just say sum matrix is equal to, and now we can go ahead and we can say new int here, or we can go ahead and create it. I'll just do new int. And this is where we give it the size of the array that we are creating. 3, 3, for instance. So this will be a 3 by 3 rectangular array. And so now if we want to store some data in there, some matrix, we do square brackets, and notice that it is asking for 2 ints. And these are going to be the positions. 0, 0 is equal to 1. And we can go ahead and do this again. Matrix 0, 1 is equal to 2. Some matrix 0, 2 is equal to 3. Now, I'm going to go ahead and copy this and duplicate this. So if I do a 1 there, 1 there, a 1 there, 2 there, a 2 there, and a 2 there, this will now create populate all the elements in the matrix with 1, 2, or 3. So this kind of looks like this. So we have our matrix, we have our array here, and inside of here we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and get rid of that. And so this is what it actually looks like. You have your outer array here with 3 elements in that array. Inside of each of those elements, we have really an array with 3 elements there. So to access 0, 0, which is a 1, is going to be that location. 1, 2 is going to look at this and going to find the array at element 1, and then going to find the element in there at element 2, which will be this 3 right there. Likewise, this 2, 2 is going to go to this one here and then look for that value there. So if we want to print it off, we can say console.writeLine sum matrix square brackets 1, 2. And so this will print out a 3. So we get a 3 there. So this is a rectangular matrix, meaning that even though these values can be different, every value inside of there will be the same. So if you have a 3-element array there and a 3-element array there, you have to have a 3-element array there. You could change this to a 5, and now you have, for example, 4, 5, and I'm going to copy this because I'm lazy. So you could have something like this. Now this would be basically a 3 by 5 matrix that you would have, but it is still going to be a fixed size. Everything is going to be that size. There will be 3 rows basically, and inside of each of those you will have 5 columns, for instance. Is also why this is a row column. The other thing that you could do is this is basically a 2-dimensional array. You could make this a 3-dimensional array. Go ahead and delete that. And I'm not going to actually represent this down here because, well, it gets a little bit messy. but you can do a 3 by 3 by 3. And this will now create a three-dimensional rectangular array where inside of there you actually have, I guess I can represent a little bit of it. So let me get rid of this, this, and this. And now instead of having a value in there, you have another array. And right here you have another array. And so on and so forth. And again, you can go pretty much as deep as you really want. This is useful for linear algebra and other calculations where you may have an n by m matrix that you have to manipulate. So this is going to be the rectangular array, and when people talk about 2D arrays and 2D or matrices, this is generally what they are referring to as a two-dimensional matrix like this in C#.